Dagny says, "Thank you all for being here."
Yils says, "With your permission, lady." Huntsy says, "Tal Viper, please, my friend." Tyros says, "Tal Huntsy." Charles shakes the groom.
Elizabeth says, smiles nervously as she sees how handsome Count looks in his suit with fur.
Huntsy says, "Always a pleasure, Viper. You need to visit me more in Alney."
Soriel beams.
Tyros says, smiles to Huntsy and nods to her.
Count eyes light up like the northern lights seeing Lizzie in such pure and immaculate attire and the face that launches the very heartbeat of mine. Gasping just a bit, whoa, blessed from the gods themselves.
T waves to all. Tina says, oops. Dagny says, gathered kin, honored friends, spirits of land, sea, and sky bear witness.
Sago smiles as I see Elizabeth walk in.
Dagny says, on this day beneath the turning wheel of the seasons, we stand in the presence of the old powers. We call upon the Aesir and Vanir, upon the ancestors who walked before us, and upon the unseen ones who walk beside us still.
Charles has a tear for not being the ring bearer, since he can't steal it now. Huntsy went silent as the bride mad her way down the aisle, and my breath caught in my chest, for she looked so radiantly beautiful this day.
Dagny says, we come to bind two lives, two hearts, two paths into one shared journey. Let all here be welcome in this sacred circle. Today we join Count Dupree and Elizabeth Lydia in the ancient rite of hand fasting, a union of honor, courage, devotion, and chosen fate. This is not a bond of possession, but of partnership. Not a chain, but a weaving. Not a command, but a vow freely given. As the Norns weave the threads of destiny, so shall these two weave their lives together. Spirits of the North, keepers of stone and mountain, grant this union strength. Spirits of the East, winds of dawn, grant clarity and truth. Spirits of the South, flame of hearth and passion, grant warmth and courage. Spirits of the West, waters of memory, grant compassion and deep understanding. And may the Allfather watch over this rite, may Frigg bless the home they build, may Freya kindle love and fierce loyalty, and may Thor guard their steps from harm. Count Elizabeth, step forward. Dagny says, Count Elizabeth together. Do you come here of your own free will with open hearts, seeking to join your lives in sacred union? Say together we do if you agree. Elizabeth says, Lizzie would take a step forward on Dagny's command, smiling to her warmly, as she looks to her love Count.
Count steps forward with Lizzie and looks to Dagny with a nervous sense of enlightenment and fortitude.
Elizabeth says, I do.
Count nods with a smile streaking the face with deep conviction, I do.
Dagny says, Before you both are bound, in perfect love and perfect trust, speak your truths. Count, before your bride-to-be and all gathered here, share your personal vow, thoughts, or statement. Speak from your heart.
Count pulls no parchment but lets the heart speak the words. Lizzie, what can a man say? What can I put into prose, poetry, and inscribe in stone or etch on the halls of the long hall? Well, I'd fill the vacant pages, that the author has already written on, and go back and read the words again. But, I dare say, ink is never wasted as those words as they were formed from the heart and soul always expressing few will ever know. What is it exactly? The question you answer every day when you awake beside me, and when you fall to sleep in my arms. Well, 'tis the time to declare the oath. The sacred truth that holds my heart to yours. I promise to forever cherish and hold you. As projected and declared since the day we met, till the day we grow old and sail the way of the Valkyrie. I support your endeavors, your dreams, your endearment to see life with a smile. To walk that mile with you and hold your hand in the lowest of the valleys and in the conquest of the highest mountains. Should I fall behind, I will wait for you. I swear to travel a life of love, passion, learning and may the low times always give me the courage to stand near to your heart and see that it finds comfort and protection when the land may lie in mist, or the veil of the hordes blacken the eyes for a moment. There will be my hand. A grip, yet gentle to find our way together. This day, I declare a solemn oath. To forever be your protector, a haven for in the storm and a listener to your heart's desires. Every now and again, the stars align, the orbitals rest in a state of symbolic union. And, this profound gift was given to me. A treasure I did not even know I had looked for. I chased, I mused, I dreamed. But when I stopped, over there in the harbor stood a lady in green. Guided by steps unbeknownst to me. You actually lay in the sea, near to death. I leaped into the cold water and dragged you to the surface. Guided by a selfless act of right, not even knowing your name. Yes, I left you in a tavern with a blanket and exited before bludgeoned by pirates. But, that left a face I would never forget. So, when you see tears fall and me stutter to form a word. It is the simple mortal man that didn't deserve a kind soul as yours. But, you followed me, we chased a dream and it ours for life to share. I love you, Lizzie, I say no more or the cheeks of mine will well with silvery steams. Thank you, for being forever my friend, love, and companion in life.
Dagny says, nods at your words. Now you, Elizabeth, before your husband-to-be and all gathered to witness your union, share your personal vow, thoughts, or statement. Speak from your heart.
Huntsy could hold my tears of joy for my friends back no longer, and they fell freely.
Adriana says, smiles. Elizabeth says, she speaks truly to her words also, but takes out a scroll from her hidden pocket in her dress and holds it close to her heart, as she reads it to him, turning to him, holding his hand.
Well says, Avernuv, Gulavu, Nizamitna, Smachnul, Slizu Radisti.
Marshall says, turning his head, he quietly brushed away a tear of joy. Elizabeth says, my beloved Count, before our family, our friends, and those who have traveled from distant lands across Gore to stand witness to this day, I offer you my heart and my vow. I stand before you as Lizzie, healer of phantom pirates, humbled and honored to become your companion and your wife. Of all the roads I could have walked and all the shores upon which I could have landed, fate brought me to you. In your strength I found comfort. In your honor I found trust. In your arms I found the place where my heart belongs. As leader of the Norsemen of Valkyrie, you carry the responsibilities of your people with courage and determination. I vow to stand beside you through every challenge and every victory. I will offer my healing hands when they are needed, my support when burdens grow heavy, and my devotion through all the seasons of our lives. I promise to honor and cherish the bond we forged today. I will share your joys, help carry your sorrows, and remain faithful to you in all things. Whether we stand within the forests of Valkyrie, sail upon distant seas, or sit quietly beneath the stars of Gore, my loyalty and love shall remain unwavering. You are my companion, my husband, my protector, and my greatest blessing. I give you my trust, my devotion, and my heart freely and completely. Before all gathered here, I take your hand and pledge myself to the life we will build together. May our bond be strong as the northern mountains, enduring as the seas, and blessed with laughter, respect, companionship, and love. Count of Valkyrie, my companion and my husband, I choose you this day, and I will choose you again with every sunrise that follows. All that I am and all that I shall become, I share with you. I love you now and always. Sina says. Takes a deep breath when listens to his words. Oh, so romantic, she mutters.
Sego says, Sevami tipped my head, looking at Sina, damn woman. Are you getting soft? You better drink some rum. I'm moving my face a ways as I getting soft too. Misty says, did I hear rum?
Dagny says, Frines, be sure you have your music stream enabled. T says, nope. Dagny says, or hagar.purepowerstreams.net. 8162 link. Your words have been heard by all present, and by the spirits who walk unseen. Extend and join your hands. Sina says /grumbles and let almost s. I pee the bottle and could catch it just in time and gives Sego a dark look if it was her who did it and takes fast a sip. She sheds in happy cheers. Dagny says, as your hands are bound, so too are your intentions, your promises, and your chosen path. By the strength of the north, by the breath of the east, by the flame of the south, by the tide of the west, and by the blessings of the gods, I bind your hands but not your freedom. I bind your hearts but not your voices. I bind your lives but not your dreams. You are two choosing to become one. Count, repeat after me. I bind my life to yours in honor, in courage, in laughter, in storm, in all seasons of our days.
Count says, I bind my life to yours, in honor, in courage, in laughter, in storm, in all seasons of our days.
Dagny says, and now you, Elizabeth, repeat this oath. I bind my life to yours in strength, in tenderness, in joy, in challenge, in all paths we will walk. Elizabeth says, hands angel her bouquet swiftly to help her hold them, as she takes Count's hands again. Dagny says, let these vows be carried on the wind, rooted in the earth, kindled in the fire, and remembered in the waters of time. Elizabeth says, I bind my life to yours in strength, in tenderness, in joy, in challenge, in all paths we will walk. Dagny says, may your love be as steadfast as Thor's shield, as deep as Rant's ocean, as bright as Baldur's light, and as enduring as the roots of Yggdrasil.
Sego as Sina takes out a bottle of rum and drinks from it. I take the bottle from Sina and take a sip and start coughing really hard, and try to look like it's not me and give the bottle back to Sina and pout over to Anne's. It's Anna.
Dagny says, may your home be warm, your table abundant, your laughter loud, and your sorrows shared and softened. May you face storms side by side, and may every dawn find you choosing each other anew. Let us all visualize a cord, one where the binding is made. This spiritual cord is a symbol, but the vow is alive. Remember this silver cord. Keep this cord in your mind and heart as a reminder of the promises spoken here. By the old ways and the new, by the witness of kin and the blessing of the gods, By the vows you have spoken and the bond you have chosen. I declare you handfasted, joined in sacred union. May your days be long, your battles victorious, and your love ever fierce. Raise your joined hands. Let all gather bear witness, a new bond is forged. A new path begins. Go forth as partners, lovers, warriors, and friends.
Charles is eager to raise Shane's hand.
Dagny says, go forth in joy. You may seal your union with a kiss.
Count holds Lizzie's hands, looking her straight in the eyes. With a warmth of gratitude and mere intensity of the moment, hands then raise and a look to Dagny for a brief moment, then my eyes brighten and would wait for that kiss.
Dagny says, congratulations to both of you.
Squishy says, victory. Oh.
Sway claps his hands and shouts, kiss her tiger.
Soriel applauds loudly.
Dagny says, man and wife. Beth says, cheers. Tina shouts, yay.
Falconer shouts, grins, beats his chest 3 times, congratulations. Star says, congratulations. Falconer reached down to his belt and retrieved the signal horn all Alnians carry and blew a bellowing call across the land.
Sina smiles to Crank and claps in her hands when the two kiss each other. Sibrits you too. And that your life will be full with hapines. Nyadzia shouts, enhorabuena.
Heisler says, congratulations. Crystal cheers excited for her friend's happiness. Krank says, звездочка хлопает в ладоши звездочка. Ура. Вы лучшие. Swillunk says, equals in, claps hands, hooray. You're the best.
Jamie claps, .as she smiles.
Zara says, congratulations Count and Lizzie.
Jayat says, congratulations. Balkan reaches down to his belt and pulled a signal horn out, then blew a bellowing call across the land. Toate Ugoa.
Count takes Lizzie in hand, would lace to her lower back and draw her in for that immortal kiss, lips pressed to her and a moment still as the placid lake.
T says, congrats.
Yil shouts, congrats.
Analenemy says, congrats.
Squishy says, surprise face. I'm gonna get laid. I'm gonna get laid, laughing face.
Muse says, laughing out loud. Tura says, claps loudly and throws some flower petals for the newlyweds. Adriana says, congrats and many blessings.
Ned says, congratulations. Sago says, congratulations to both of you, while I stomp my feet wildly on the floor.
Sina says, oh my, did you hear that? Tura says, asterisk newly companioned. Congratulations.
Soriel says, who?
Sina says, she had more than just one sip of rum. Elizabeth says, she feels Count's embrace, as she pulls her forward, kissing his lips romantically in return with the love she had for him, living in the moment they now shared as companions. Shane says /o/woo. Tina looks at her granddaughter. Do we all have to witness the consummation? Adriana says, oh hells no.
Misty says, oh fun.
Adriana says, giggles.
Вилсис, поздравляю вас, звездочка, от радости чуть не хлопнул Сариэля по спине.
Marshall says, congratulations asterisk almost slapped Soriel on the back with joy.
Moon says, just the first time. Snickers.
Dagny says, now we all will celebrate with this happy couple. Zluna says, applause. Muse smiles. Dagny says, the time to dance and celebrate has come.
Maximin Scott shouts, may your bond be as strong as steel.
Dagny says, all proceed to the dance floor. Rhea says applause.
Count wipes a brow and takes Lizzie's hand, full of pride and passion.
Huntsy laughs at Tina's words and says, that is the tradition, Tina.
Dagny says, our DJ today is Moon Cheeks.
Soriel shouts, clear the aisles. Here comes the wedding party.
Cena says, yes time FO the rum and hum of course their first dance. Dagny says, Count and Lizzie has chosen their music.
Shadow says, congrats.
Muse says, Mon who is still single and needs a dance partner. Tongue sticking out. Rhea says, claps. Dagny says, all rise and join us at the dance floor outside. Tina gives Ivar a warm hug. You came armed to a wedding. Sway grabs her booty towel there.
Huntsy waits for the first rose to clear.